Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Leanna and today we're talking about myths, misinformation, and misconceptions that happen in the reseller world. I'm also talking to you today standing because I got my new desk and Paul put it together today so I can actually stand and film or type or do whatever I want. I'm excited for this. I think it's going to be really good for me. And it's given me some options when I go to film. You will find out that I talk with my hands. I am a hand talker 100%, and I don't do that so much when I'm sitting down. So anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about some of the information out there that basically is not true, or maybe it is true, and some of the information that just gets misconstrued. So we're going to start with the search. We're going to start with the search and we're going to start with, do the platforms hide our listings? I've been hearing this rumor or this myth for a long time. And I thought, why would the platform hide my listings? The platforms want me to sell things. They want to make money, and the only way to make money is if I, the seller, sell things. So why would they hide my listings? It didn't make any sense to me. But this week I had an experience, and what I did is I went in to Posh Canada. This is very just Posh Canada. I went in and I searched a brand. I wanted to see how many of these items were available and how many had sold, things like that. The brand did not exist. I could not find it on Posh Canada whatsoever. I double checked that it was clicked on for all sizes, not just my size. Made sure I spelt it right, even though when I talked about it in a Facebook group, I totally spelt it wrong. No, none of these things existed. And it was weird because I personally have sold that brand and I couldn't even find that listing. So I went to Google and I searched at Google and I put in Poshmark. And Posh Canada listings were coming up on Google. So I'm like, great, maybe there's a glitch or something. I click on the listings on Google. This is actually on my computer too, not on my phone. I go in, I click on the listing on Google. I have to sign in, so I do that. And the listing disappears and I still can't find it. Now, I went to Posh US, I went to eBay, I could find this brand, absolutely no problem. So I didn't know what's going on. I'm like, oh, and it kind of made me realize that maybe for me those listings are hidden. I don't know, like, is there some truth to this rumor? And I was really frustrated because I really wanted to find this brand. But me as a seller went, okay, there's something going on. I don't know what it is. I'll try again tomorrow. What if I was a buyer and I was specifically looking for that brand and I couldn't find it on Poshmark Canada, but I could find it on eBay? I would buy it from eBay because I couldn't find it anywhere else. So, I mean, that's kind of a red flag for me. It's kind of something that really made me think about it. I did try the next morning and I could find the listings no problem. Now it is a niche brand and there's not a lot of listings, but still, I've had to sit down and think, why is this happening? What is going on? Do they really hide our listings? And I sort of talked with Paul about it and we got talking about servers and things like that. And I am not a computer geek. I don't know anything about coding or servers, really anything. But what if the servers are just so busy, they only have so much capacity, and when it's filled up, all the other listings that, aren't on it just sort of get lost in a sense, so you can't find them. And that capacity just keeps sort of rolling over. So that, to me, makes logical sense, and it's not the platforms themselves hiding specifically. There's nothing nefarious about it. They're not hiding our listings because they're punishing us. It's just the servers only have so much capacity, and what can't fit on there just sort of falls to the wayside for a little bit until it's their turn. Now, maybe I'm completely bonkers and that's just not logical at all. I mean, if you know about servers and computers, let me know what you think down below. It just made sense to me, so I thought that was kind of cool because it puts sort of the onus of responsibility on the servers and not necessarily on the platforms. There's some bad feelings when you talk about platforms. It's like, oh, well, Poshmark's hiding my closet again, and it's not a good sort of thing to think that about your platform. But it also reminds me to list at other places. I have the same listings on Poshmark Canada, on Posh US, and on eBay. They're almost all on eBay. And that helps my visibility. You know what I mean? I don't care where my items sell as long as they sell. My sort of loyalty is to my business, not to the platform. So I will cross list all over the place. And that gets my listing seen by that many more eyes. So if one server is sort of dropping me off, maybe the other one's picking me up. So let me know what you think down below, because maybe it's a little nuts, but that's what I think. Okay. The next one I want to talk about, I'm going to sneeze. I've been sneezing all day. It's been really weird. Okay. The next myth is the right buyer will come. Now, this is true. The right buyer will come eventually. I don't know how good of a mindset it is. Sorry. I don't know how good of a mindset it is. I don't want items that sit in my inventory for 3 years. I just don't want them. Now, I have limited space. So for me, it might be different. But also, if you have an item that you paid, say you paid $10 for it, and it's still sitting there 3 years later, taking up space in your store, your closet, you're sharing it, you're doing whatever with it, it's not making you money. You need to cut your losses and either get rid of it really, really cheap or donate it to free up that space, to free up that energy that goes towards that. So for me, the right buyer will come is not a bad thing, but I want that buyer to come within a year. And I'm working really hard to get into that sort of motion where I list, I sell, I list, I sell. So it's always rotating. And for me, I've decided that a year is my cutoff point. Yours could be 6 months, yours could be a year and a half. It depends on your business and your business model, how much space you have, what the item is, because some things are worth hanging on to because they're that special. Okay, so keep that in mind. When people say the right buyer will come, look at your own business to decide whether or not you want to do that. Because sometimes it works and sometimes it's really not good for your business. All right, Q4. We're going to talk about the sort of misconception of Q4. In my books, anyway, it's hard to describe. Q4 has the potential to be the busiest time for everybody. I know that when I used to work retail, yes, October, November, December, absolutely the busiest time. And then January, February, March, it'd be slow as all get out, For me and my business, Q4 is not my busiest time. It's busy, but January, February, March are much busier for me. I do better sales in the first 3 months of the year than I do in the last 3 months. But that's me knowing my business. That's me doing the business for a few years going, okay, what months are slow, what are, and it's just knowing what your business flow is. So for me, October to the end of March are my busiest 6 months, 100%. April to the end of September are my slowest. That's just the way that my business goes. It's just the way it's been sort of evolving. So when I hear people talk about Q4, it's not like they're being wrong or it's a myth or anything like that. It's just know your own business and realize what your business does itself and plan accordingly. Okay, number 4, the myth about listing and using a cross-listing service or a sharing service. That myth is if you want sales, you just got to list, or, you got to share, cross-list to all the platforms. And you know what? It's not wrong, but it's also not right, because no matter what you do, if you have a bad item, no matter how many times you list it, no matter where you list it, doesn't matter how many times you share it, how many times you send out offers, and it doesn't matter, what you do with it, no one's going to want to buy it. So listing just by itself is not a bad sort of piece of advice, but it's not the whole story. You really need to sit down and really realize what is selling at the moment. that really helps your sales. And that is really the only golden rule, is you need to be listing what is selling. And I've been working on that. I've been working on looking at my sell-through rates, looking at what's trending and all that kind of stuff. I still buy some things that go, oh, that is so cute, someone will love it. I do that once in a while. I do, I will be honest. But I'm looking more at my sell-through rates, and my sales are reflecting that. Like a lot of the things that I have been picking up and listing right away, because I'm getting good at that, they're actually selling. So that's a really good indication. So all these other things like cross-listing services, it's a fabulous thing to do to get more eyes on your items, as long as your items are good items. And using a sharing service or a bot service, whatever you want to call it, it's only good to take the task away from you so that you have more time to list and to buy things that will sell. Okay. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, kind of 5. The last 2 that I want to talk about actually really just pertain to Canadians, and specifically Canadian Poshmark, Canadian Poshers who sell on Posh US. The number one, and this is a big one because it was happening in a Facebook group that I was in, and they were talking about Stallion. So if you're not a Canadian and you don't know what I'm talking about, as a Canadian that sells on Posh US, I need a service that will take my packages over the border and ship them. So I use Stallion Express. I get all my labels from Poshmark. I put all that information into Stallion so that I can pay them to do this service. I then batch all those items together and I print a batch label. This is so important. On the Facebook group, people were saying, no, I've never done a batch label. I've done hundreds of packages. I never needed a batch label. And you know what? You need a batch label. You need to at least create one, 100%. I do print mine out because it does help the guy, it helps the guy at Stallion in London to be more efficient with his job. And you know what? These people that say I never print a batch label, they're going to get caught one day and their packages are going to get stuck. And that information is coming from Stallion itself. I don't know how they're doing it. I know that once I forgot my batch label 100%, and Shiv from London called to say, where's your batch label? So I had to do it so he could access it. Otherwise, my packages were not going anywhere. So I don't know if these people are dropping off at a drop-off location as opposed to an actual Stallion. And a drop-off location could just be a corner store like a Max Milk or a Becker's or whatever it is. And those people then give all those packages to somebody, comes and picks them up and takes it to head office or to a Stallion. And someone at Stallion is just doing it all. I don't know what's happening. But if you are in that situation, print off your batch label. It takes 2 seconds because you got to do the batch anyway so that it's done. You just download the batch label and you print it. It's really easy. It takes no time. So why not do it for them? Okay. The last one I want to talk about is really interesting because I've been hearing this, I don't know if it's a rumor or whatever it is, but the vague sort of thing was Posh US is cracking down on Canadians selling in the US. That's what I heard. That's all I heard. And it was like, okay, well, what do you mean? Because I'm not having any issues with my Posh US closet. None whatsoever. I can list, I can share, I can do whatever. Other people, newer people who have newly opened a US account are having both accounts frozen and that nobody knows what's going on. I'm hoping that this is happening to somebody, and I'm hoping that she gets it sort of resolved today because it's been a couple of days and she can't list on either one of her platforms. So I don't know what's happening. I don't know if there's just some sort of miscommunication. I don't know if it's the way that they're signing up and they're missing information. I don't know anything. I can't see Posh US telling Canadians they can no longer sell on Posh US. I don't know about that because, we make them a lot of money. And we are allowed to sell in the US because we have treaties or something. So it is possible. I mean, people do it. So I don't know what's going on. If you're having this issue, let me know down below and tell me how it was resolved. or if there was some sort of, miscommunication or you forgot something, let me know down below so I can just learn, because I'm a little bit... I didn't like the whole, well, they're cracking down on Canadian closets, or Canadians selling on the US. It's like, okay, that's too vague. What do you mean? Are they cracking down on our tax forms? Are they cracking down on, what are they doing? So if you have information, let me know down below so that I can learn and I can share it with everyone. All right, that is it for today. Today is Friday. It's been a week. Let me tell you guys. First, the search went crazy on me, and I was like, what the heck? We went yesterday to pick up the desk, and we went to the bins. I'm going to do a bins haul later. And we had to wait. It was like taking like an hour for them to bring it out of the auction place. We got it at an auction. And it's like, it took forever. It was crazy. The bins was great. I got some really good stuff I'm excited to show you. Came home. I'm having issues with my Posh Sidekick and my payments. Trying to get that rectified. There's nothing wrong on my end. They are working with me, so that's good. But I don't want to lose my service because I don't want to share my closet. But they are working with me, which is a really good indication that they really want to keep, service going. But that was frustrating. I was frustrated because it's like I felt they weren't listening. It's like, no, you're missing the point. It's not on my end. Something's going on with you, but it's okay. They're working on it, so I'm feeling much calmer now. I feel cool standing up here. I can dance with you guys now? No. Anyway, that is it for today. Hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. I'll see everyone on Tuesday. Bye.